Quarterfinals, we just played against Navi and won. We definitely expected to win. We had a very good idea of what maps we would be playing today. So we had a lot of time to prepare and practice, and yeah, I think as a team, I'm definitely happy that we won.
But it's so easy to get towards heaven, and CT's kind of forget that's a possibility sometimes, especially with so much aggro here. But Hiko doing what he can, finds 2, gives them a chance there with 3.
Yeah, so this is our first time playing on the stage here at ESL in Cologne, and it was really just amazing. I've been to a lot of European events in my past, and not once has the crowd been cheering for an American team like that ever in my career. I love it. I can't wait to play again tomorrow. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Team Liquid is not a team that I prefer to play, but it's also not a team that I'm afraid of. Like, it doesn't matter to me that I play against them. It's going to be a fun game, and at this point, there's only good teams left, and they're a really good team, and we're going to do our best to win.
We're going to pick up a kill on Dennison, turning around, not going to get the shot there. Crim's picking up a double.
Actually, I would rather have played Navi because we know them pretty well. Liquid is kind of like, the playstyle is like a wild card. They do crazy stuff everywhere and they win. They have a lot of raw skill, so it's going to be hard, but I think we can do it. The last time Fnatic were here, I wasn't on the team, and they won, so I was really looking forward to this one, and I'm confident we're gonna win this tournament.
Some doubted Team Liquid, but now they stand in the semi-finals. A North American presence is both in the semi-finals, but also on the desk. Jason Moses O'Toole joins us for this one. No surprises there, of course. We get to get that North American bias talking about Team Liquid, but alongside them, we do have Fnatic.
Maybe some tears later as well. I love some of those.
All right, Duncan, you've started off and we'll run with it. Okay. That suggests you've got a whole lot of faith in the Swedish side.
I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, I got to go back to when they were in that match, that was the elimination match for last place in the tournament against G2. And we had to go down the desk and go, oh, lots of great positives for G2. They've got the form, the players maybe even playing in better at the moment. The map definitely favors them. All this, so all in agreement. Fnatic, okay, over to you. Yeah. It's like, that really is how it feels about against Fnatic. They've just got this historical quality to them where they can do anything, mate. They could make America great again. Oh, no, that's the one thing they won't do. Yeah, no. There we go. So,
Sweden, hey, Fnatic. There's this unpredictability to them, Janko, that yes, Liquid came into their previous game, and you heard from Hiko, we had a good idea of how we were going to play against Navi. The same, probably not possible versus Fnatic?
Yeah, Fnatic is a much harder team to predict and much harder to actually think of a game plan against them, but I actually think that Liquid is going to fare against them pretty well, seeing as how for Fnatic you need to be able to stop them initially from them brute forcing their way in, and Liquid has got a lot of talent, a lot of firepower in their lineup, so I see a possibility of them matching up well against Fnatic.
The big problem when you play against Fnatic is you look at like the ingredients to their style, and step 1 is be Fnatic, and then step 2 is to win. Yeah. So you go, how do you counter that? Well, step 1, be Fnatic. Oh yeah, they're still Fnatic. I don't know, guess just pray.
Jason, we keep talking about having a North American team in the semi-finals, North Americans at the major. There's been a hot topic, and with Liquid success as of late. Can you just quickly explain to those perhaps unfamiliar why it's exciting to see North America in a semi-final for the 2nd time in a row at a major?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's been a period. I mean, there was a year where North American teams didn't even make it out of the group stage of the major. And this is a region that, you know, dating back in the history of Counter-Strike, has had teams that have been able to compete and win international events. And it's just been so long since we've even had, you know, the hope or the faith to actually do that. So now we have a team like Liquid that you're looking at, and all this firepower they've brought in, all this talent. And now what's more impressive about it, this is the first North American team that I've seen come out of this region. Even you think back to last year with Cloud9 and their summer run, this Liquid team, I think, is the only one that actually believes they can win and they can make it to the finals. You can see the confidence. You can see it in the interviews they give and how they say it, how they walk around the venue. These guys are ready for it and they want to win. It's simple, I think. This, you know, this might be his last hurrah with this team, but an incredible player, and he's now buying into the system as well. So it's just an incredible run of events they've had in this event.
And that's what does need to be discussed next. He has bought into this system. We're talking about Simple. Could you quickly, Janko, explain why this is such a surprise to a lot of people? Simple, perhaps a touch on why he's been described as a toxic presence in the past.
I think it's because he really wants to win in general, and he sometimes feels that his teammates let him down, so he maybe had troubles understanding why can't they just repeat the things that he can, you know. But I think he's matured as a player and as a person as well, and now he's in a group of players where he has full confidence in them that they're going to be able to do what they're supposed to, which makes it easier for him to fulfill his role. So I feel that he has a lot of confidence individually, but also now, for a change, has confidence in his teammates as well.
Confidence is no doubt the key word in this second semi-final here at ESL 1 Cologne. Fnatic seem to have got it again. Fnatic looked wobbly after Olaf Meister's injury, but now they claim to have found that confidence, and there's no doubt in the quarterfinals that they had buckets of it versus Gambit. This will be their biggest test yet, though. Liquid stand in their way, and let's meet the Swedes. They're about to make their presence known to the Lanxess Arena.
Champions of ESL 1 Cologne 2015, please welcome the Living Legends, Fnatic.
This sure does mean an awful lot for Olaf Meister there at the front of the pack from Fnatic. Back from injury, you could see the frustrations. It was audible every time that you heard from him in an interview, you saw on social media. Being unable to play and to watch his boys from an external perspective really did take it out of him. But now he has an opportunity to get to a grand final with his team once more. Fnatic have managed to get to that semi-final spot, but the grand finals is where they truly do believe they belong. To stand in their way is Liquid, who truly do have that belief as well. We've said it before, we'll say it again. The North Americans have the confidence, and we'll see if they can show that in this game. Liquid are about to arrive in the arena.
Coming to the stage at this time, the hope of North America. Put your hands together for Team Liquid.
Ironically, Team Liquid have looked solid here at ESL 1 Cologne. Pico at the front with his homies, Elige, Nitro, and the new addition, JDM. You can see the flag around his forehead, and there's no doubt that additional pressure will be present. Representing North America, it's already been made clear that this isn't something you see every day. A North American side looking competitive versus the world's best. And those world's best are ready to talk to Paul Red-Eye Challoner. It's time to hear from Pico and Olaf Meister ahead of this second semi-final.
Thanks very much, Alex. Yes, Pico, first of all, another semi-final at a major. Everything's good. Everything was great from the previous round. So how do you approach a match against the triple major champions?
We prepared the same we did against Navi and every other team we played. We really want this. This is our second semifinal as a team. We're here for the finals, so Olaf, you're going down.
Then be fighting words. Okay, I also want to talk to you about how much experience have you gained from having that semi-final at the last major? How much has that made you more of a settled team?
I think we really learned how to prepare ourselves. We really learned how to actually close games. That was definitely a learning experience for us. I don't think I've ever had that problem ever in any of my other teams. So that was our main focus coming into this major.
All right, best of luck, Team Liquid. We're going to get a few words with Olaf as well. Olaf, again, congratulations on reaching another semi. I guess it means nothing to you guys unless you reach the final, though.
I didn't hear you.
I guess it means nothing in terms of reaching the semi-final. It doesn't really mean anything to you unless you reach the final now.
No, we don't care if we reach the semi-final or the final either. We want to win. If we don't win, it doesn't matter to us.
How do you approach a game like this against Team Liquid, who they can do some crazy stuff against teams, can't they?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, Team Liquid, how do you approach a game like this against them? Because they can do crazy stuff.
We don't really prepare for them. We just play them and hopefully we'll win.
All right, best of luck, ladies and gentlemen. Fnatic and Team Liquid.
Absolutely love that from Olofmeister. That could not be a better way to represent the Fnatic way of playing Counter-Strike. We described them as kind of breaking the meta, almost. We describe them, we see 6 teams that strategize, that anti-strat, find success, and then Fnatic show up and say, haven't really prepared, we'll see what happens. And they have been hungry for a challenge, considering how much they walked through that quarterfinal. Gentlemen, these are big names in Counter-Strike, there's no doubt about it, but that confidence, can that confidence not be the end of them at some point, Duncan?
Here's the thing, though. I actually think that interview, surprisingly, showed you a lot more about the team's mentalities than you'd expect, because Hiko was saying all good stuff like, oh, you're going down all off, we really want this, but he sounded very nervous when he was saying that, like, sounded a little bit unsure of himself. Olofmeister, even when he said, oh, you're going down, Olofmeister was like, okay, great. So, I mean, people have tried before, mate, so,
He's not nervous. He's just, he's always, that happy, jolly character. He just, he does better on the maps than he does with the banter on the stage, I think.
I think they're nervous, mate. That's the thing about the Team Liquid guys, is this. That's why I think they are the huge X factor in the series, not Fnatic, because they could have an incredible run like they did against Na'Vi, and they could do really sick, and they could play with this confidence, win all the posts, or some of them could fold. I mean, you're relying on some people here who have never won tournaments in their career. This is JDM's first semi-final. He's got a lot of pressure weighing upon him. Okay, Simple yesterday, we were all like, he's a superstar, he's going to be the next Na'Vi player, all this stuff. Well, now people expect him to win this game for them. Do the same thing against Na'Vi, against Fnatic. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Team Liquid.
And I think that pressure is why I want to run with Jason. Representing North America in this instance. Are these individuals that can be affected by that? There's a huge amount of support back home for them. That all eyes are on their gameplay in these next 3 maps. Does that play a factor at all into this semi-final?
I doubt they think about it at this point. Maybe throughout the day when they're waiting for this match to start. But once the match starts, once they get up on stage, that's all going to go away. Those kind of nerves. And also, this is a team that has carried it now for some time. People have been looking at Liquid, and specifically, especially since Hiko joined, Hiko, Nitro, Elige. That has been the core that people have expected for over a year now to take up this mantle as NA's best team. They're used to it. They're used to having that expectation. Now they're finally realizing it. And yeah, there's always a danger that's going to collapse or that they're not going to perform. But I mean, you can't say that until they get out there on the field.
And the field is where I want to take this discussion next. The vetoes haven't started yet, but I always want to make sure we have plenty of time, ample time to discuss, where the successes have come from in the past and where they choose to take this now. Fnatic, do they still have that deep map pool that we would have credited to, in the Pronax era? Does that deep map pool still
This
exist?
is going to sound really counterintuitive. No, they don't. I don't think their map pool is particularly deep. Even when they were winning the first titles earlier in the year, it wasn't a deep map pool. This is where it's counterintuitive. But they still win on the maps that they're bad on. So that sounds crazy, because if you're winning on the maps you're bad on, surely you're good on them. That's the whole point, that they don't win with the routine of how you win them. They don't win with strats on maps like Train. They just do Fnatic things, basically. So the area where I think this is most interesting is that Na'Vi lost the nuke game to the guys from Team Liquid. And Team Liquid looked like they had a very interesting approach to how they played the CT side. So I think that is the interesting factor here, because I feel like that means Fnatic's ban has to be nuke. I don't think they want to even play that. Why even risk it, So I think in this scenario, that opens a lot of doors for the guys from Team Liquid, because Team Liquid can go anything they want. Overpass is actually the standard ban of Team Liquid. Obviously, we're really waiting on the Fnatic one here. They ban out nuke, as I said. Now, here's the thing. Probably, if you're Team Liquid, you pick Cobble, right? That's been the map all tournament long for you. Problem is, Fnatic's one of the best teams in the world on Cobble. They 16-0'd FaZe on Cobble. They're a very, very good team on that map. Cash pick from Fnatic is expected. Not necessarily a map that we think of when we think of Team Liquid, they necessarily want to play. But obviously, I mean, they played it yesterday. Did they play it yesterday? No, they didn't actually. No, they didn't get around to it. It was banned out, I think. And so Train is the third map. Here's the interesting thing. I think Train actually, on paper, should favor Team Liquid. But again, that's the one where the storyline about G2. G2 was favored on Train too. They found out what can happen to you. So I actually feel like the map pool's gone great for the guys from Team Liquid, actually. Cash, okay, that's going to be tough. But yep, they wanted the cobblestone. They've got the Train as the decider. I think this is the best they could have hoped for.
You can see Liquid have definitely entranced some of the European fans as well. But Yanko, what are your thoughts on those maps? We saw the successes on Cobble yesterday for Liquid. Could they do it to Fnatic again?
Possibly. What surprises me is that Fnatic actually chose to start a CT and not a ST on Cobble, because as the B team they get the chance to pick the side, and usually Fnatic always picks the T side simply because they want to be the ones who dictate the pace of the game. They want to be the ones who bring the game to you. So I'm not really sure what's the reasoning behind it on this particular map, especially because Cbble is a T-sided map, so they want to start on the weaker side to see how many rounds they actually need on the stronger side. And I agree that the third map that we got from the randomizer is actually the best map Liquid could have gotten out of the pool. So all things considering, also Cash is a map that they don't play in this iteration of the team, but historically Liquid has played the map and been pretty good on it.
Now, Jason, something that we were talking about, given Na'Vi was saying Guardian has no longer become that linchpin to success for Na'Vi. Would you say something similar about Fnatic and Olofmeister? He hasn't had the mind-blowing stats that we used to call the best player in the world.
Yeah, he certainly hasn't gotten back to that point where he was incredible and just dominating everyone, that dominant force. The one thing I have noticed is that he often has, in this tournament, he's had some slow starts, but his teammates have been able to carry him through those slow starts, and then at the end of games he starts picking things up. That's where it gets a little bit scary. And part of it is, he said in interviews, it's not the arm that's preventing him, it's more this confidence and coming back that he hasn't regained.
Now, what I want to ask you about confidence is, are you confident in your prediction? Jason, what are you saying for Cobblestone?
Listen, everything does point to Fnatic. Everything's going that way, but now we have Simple playing lights out. We have Nitro and Elige, this power combo that's doing really well. So I'm going all in on Team Liquid.
Oh!
I was hoping he was just naked under there.
He's going North America. He has to. Yanko, you got a counterpoint to make.
I think that this is I think this is going to be one of those situations where, yes, everything Liquid playing great, everything's awesome, map looks good for them, but Fnatic is here. They're out for blood because Liquid beat them in that best of one in Columbus, so I think they want revenge and they're going to come out strong and take Cobble as well.
Duncan, what's under your shirt?
Listen, mate, you'll never get to find out. So they don't pay me that much.
You don't want to see it.
So here's the thing. I actually think that this is a great chance for Team Liquid. Like, what I think makes them different from even the last majors, Team Liquid and the Cloud9s, etc. of the past, is those teams could have maybe done an upset, like beaten Na'Vi. This team, I actually think, if they did play at their peak, they could win the tournament. Unfortunately, I think that they're having to play right into the hands of Fnatic, pick Cobblestone first map. Fnatic's very, very good on Cobblestone. And unfortunately, I feel like this is where Fnatic can really demoralize them early, like take their confidence from them. So I think it's a Fnatic win on Cobblestone.
It's a battle of confidence on Cobble. Your casters are ready for this one. James Bardolph and DDK have the great pleasure of bringing you this one after our quick break. We start our second semi-final. It's going to be mad, and it's going to start on Cobble. We'll see you after the break with the start of semi-final 2.
Welcome to ESL 1 Cologne.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. We are very soon about to start one of the best matchups of the tournament for sure. Fnatic versus Team Liquid. I know a lot of people have been waiting for just this matchup, and Team Liquid look like they may be able to make a run straight through to the finals. But first, they must go through the rejuvenated Swedes.
A Swedish team who have just come off absolutely destroying, embarrassing, and just stamping on Gambit in the previous match. Things felt easy for them. Can Liquid make them feel a bit hard? You saw Fnatic said that they didn't really prepare for this match as they normally would. I think an issue is, how do you prepare for a Liquid side who have JDM replacing Kusta, who have Simple as a stand-in? They're a bit of an anomaly in this tournament, and I think they're quite a hard team to prepare for.
This is one of the reasons why I think this match is going to be just phenomenal no matter what happens, because both teams are hard to read, hard to predict, but what they both have is so much firepower. So we hopefully are going to see loads of clutch situations. That's honestly the focus for me. I can't wait to get started with this one.
Indeed, and you see Olaf Meister on the camera there. Vugo did say in an interview recently that his arm isn't 100%, but it is as far as Counter-Strike goes. It's not really affecting his play there, so that's good news. In part, at least, and there's a lot of Swedish contingency here. Going to be supporting those players. So Cobblestone is going to be the first pick, the pick of Liquid. Obviously, Nuke being taken away. I think that might have been more of a wild card if they had chosen that, so perhaps this will be a more stable map for them. However, they are up against what is possibly or likely to be the strongest team in the world.
And this is going to be definitely a battle of confidence as well. And I really like the point that Thorin made on the desk, where he was saying this is a map where Fnatic, the dangerous thing for Liquid is that Fnatic, because they're so strong here and they have so much routine going into Cobblestone. And again, we have to remember that Liquid with this lineup only really have maximum 3 weeks of experience, and a lot of that has been traveling because they haven't just been preparing for this tournament. They've also recently come off of another tournament as well. So a lot of that's travel time and so on. So they're not going to have as much routine. But what Liquid have been doing very well is sticking to the basics and really allowing their powerful players like Simple and JDM, who are the new guys back into the lineup again, to really get firing off on all cylinders, which is how they're going to be able to win a matchup like this.
So you see the comparative stats between the two teams there, but it's all going to come down to the stats in this best of 3, and I do think Cobblestone is going to be a very important map for Liquid. I mean, you never want to go 1-0 down versus a Fnatic who are firing on all cylinders, and that's what we can expect to happen here. So Liquid are definitely going to have pressure on their shoulders, and we've seen a lot of the teams who've made it to Legends in this tournament. You could argue in their matches they haven't had pressure on their shoulders. They've made it this far. It's been a great achievement, and they're playing with nothing to lose here. But Liquid have been this far already. You saw that heartwarming VT with Hiko. He wants to take this over the line. He wants to take this all the way. And who knows, if Simple is an outgoing player for Liquid, how many opportunities is he going to have in the future to play with such a strong lineup? Lots of variables here for this team.
Yeah, one of the cool things to me as well is that we talked about how strong Fnatic are here, and of course, again, Liquid, a bit of a new lineup, not a lot of routine, but in the past, actually, when Simple was on flip side, it was actually one of their best maps. And the reason was mostly just because Blade fully enabled the team around Simple, just to allow him to do whatever he wanted, and he could somehow just win games all by his lonesome in many cases with his AWP. Obviously, JDM's going to be the dedicated AWPer for Team Liquid, as unlike Simple, he's not as proficient with the rifles and pistols, but JDM also one of the things that really struck me about JDM as he's this upcoming and rising star is that he's very, very good at dealing with pressure situations, and he really understands and embodies a lot of very important sports psychology concepts to keep that consistency in the moments of high pressure, and that is exactly what they need, and that's what they didn't have in the last major, because they had Kusta, who is an up-and-coming player, but he's still quite young, not much experience. I think JDM is just the right man for the job.
For those at home watching on GoTV, I think it might be pretty cool if we try to give them a player to focus on in each half of these games. It looks like we're going to have Fnatic starting on the CT side, Team Liquid on the T side. Are there any particular players on each team that you think would be good to focus on if you're watching in GoTV right now?
I think Simple is always fun to watch. It's actually really difficult. I think you're going to have to pick one of 3, and I'm going to let you narrow this down, James. I'm going to pick 3 for you on Liquid's side. So JDM, Simple, and Hiko, but 3 players who are very characteristic, very stylized, but very fun to watch in their own individual way. So which one do you think would be your pick out of those 3?
That's an interesting question. Because on the T side, Hiko's probably lurking, right? So I'm not going to pick him. I'd rather see JDM on the CT side, I want to say, because I don't think they're going to be playing with him looking for entries as much as CLG might, for example. So of those 3, I'd probably pick Simple, but I think Nitro and Elige might be interesting on the T side as well. I don't really know who to pick. Again, Liquid are somewhat of an anomaly at the moment, so with stand-ins, new players, and so on, they're a bit of a. It's hard to decide. So I think Simple's not a bad choice by any means.
Yeah.
And if you're an AWPer, then just always watch AWPers. But what about the CT side here?
Well, the thing is with Fnatic is that on Cobblestone, you have the very characteristic thing when it comes to the T side. JW, you're going to see him running around with a sawn-off shotgun, attacking drop zone. It's kind of a specialty thing that he does, and it's actually very cost-effective to do it like that. Not many teams actually go with that sort of a strategy. So JW can be quite interesting to watch from that perspective, because you can kind of narrow down, okay, he's trying to do this, these are the kind of tactics he's going to be using, and he's very routine when it comes to that. Of course, his aim is unreal, and that's kind of the hard thing with this matchup, because it's hard to copy a lot of the stuff that these players on Fnatic and Liquid are doing, because every single player, their skill is just it's just so unreal. They'll be able to make decisions that just won't make sense for the average man, James. So I didn't even answer your question.
I know you didn't. Of course,
I
know you did.
I'm just going to say.
I'm just asking to pass the time because I'm expecting a monologue to come out. I would say on the T side, Dennis, for Fnatic. I mean, JW's an obvious one, but Dennis, we've seen him on Cobblestone recently. He's just capable of insane clutches for his team, 1 versus 2s, 1 versus 3s, especially on Cobblestone. For the CT side, though, again, it's difficult to say. I am going to say Crims. And I'm not going to give a reason why. I just like watching Crims on CT sides.
Yeah, Crims is supposed to be the rock of the team. He's supposed to be that very reliable, solid guy who's always able to deliver the multi-kills. And because he's got more of a style of consistency in that sense, he's not going to be taking the crazy risks as much as other players. He's not going to be, because they have players to do that, right? You've got Olofmeister, who's a guy that can take the risk and go very aggressive because his skill is out of this world. And that's kind of the role he has in the team. JW likewise, and to some extent you might see Dennis do some stuff like that. Flusher and Crims, I would say, are more reserve players. So from a decision-making perspective, there's a lot to be learned from watching them, and a lot that you can take away as a player that does not have the individual skill that they have.
So I think a technical issue is being resolved on Crims' computer at the moment, which is why he's standing up. He's not just soaking up the Fnatic cheering that's going on right now in the venue. And what a nice venue it is. This is the biggest venue I've definitely been in for Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah,
it's great to see how far the game has come. As somebody who's played it for about 13 years, it's definitely...
James, the fans here are phenomenal. These guys are making so much noise, so passionate about the game. I can't believe we've come this far.
And I know, it's awesome to see a full sold-out venue here in Cologne. Can't imagine. We need statistics on how much bratwurst is being consumed. Bratwurst and currywurst. We need statistics on that. ESL, get on that.
Yeah. Well, I think we've helped out quite a lot there already.
We've made our own contributions.
Yes,
we have indeed. So we continue to wait for Crims to join the serve. We have 9 out of 10 at the moment. Again, great to see Olofmeister back on the side as well. Wenton was a credit to the team during his time. But now Fnatic very quickly back to full force, having some solid 16-0s and almost 16-0s in Atlanta very recently as well. You can see Crims admiring the fans there in the crowd. Must be quite a spectacle as a player as well.
Oh yeah.
Standing on the stage, just seeing everything out there. Obviously, you see they have white noise in their headsets, which is why they have big headphones over their in-ear buds, so they can't hear Dan and I talking nonsense too much. But you can definitely feel the pulse of that crowd.
Oh, absolutely, and you made a point about Olofmeister there, which is interesting because you have a situation when you have a guy coming back from an injury where maybe he's still kind of trying to generate confidence and so on, and maybe he's one of your star players. That's kind of the key there, the operating terms, like he's one of the star players of Fnatic. That's why Olofmeister is going to be able to have a more, like an easier environment than, let's say, Guardian, who had the injuries, coming back to Na'Vi. We've seen, Guardian having some struggles as well, because Guardian knows that he has all the pressure on him to deliver every game. He knows that's something that he's understood, and I've interviewed him in the past about that, and he understands that if he has to play his best game for his team to win tournaments and for his team to just generally make it deep in any of these tournaments against these top 8 level teams. And Olofmeister, he's got so much skill to back him up. He can play much more dynamically based on how he feels, and if he wants to step down a little bit as a star player or doesn't want to get as aggressive as normally he would, or pick up the AWP. There's about 4 other people on the team that can pick up the AWP very professionally, so there's such a dynamic team, and that's what I really love about watching Fnatic.
Indeed, and we have the analyst desk ready to talk maybe more about AWPs, maybe more about something else while we wait for this issue to be resolved. So over to you, Machine.
we'll be talking about that semi-final a little more while they do resolve any issues over on stage. You've got to have that perfect playing environment, of course, when you've got so much on the line. Not only is it, trying to retain this legendary aura surrounding you, but also the opportunity to get closer to that $1 million prize pool. It's a whole lot of money, not a bad chunk of change. And we're going to be talking now as to the coaching staff, the people behind these teams. I do want to start with Liquid, Jason, and it's more appropriate to start with you. A recent move with Peacemaker. A couple of words perhaps towards this presence that's new behind Liquid. Also, we saw him with Tempo Storm. We saw his effect there. He's definitely, already making a big impact on this North American side.
Yeah, I think the big thing is just the discipline that he kind of brings to the table. I'm not sure, I haven't really spoken to him much about what he's doing with the team strategically, but even when you talk to him, he does have like this a little bit more air of demanding respect that they haven't had in the past. And that's the big thing, especially with a guy like Simple. I know Duncan touched on the fact that Nitro in the past was very much wanted to switch out of this entry fragger role that he's so suited to. And now you have Peacemaker coming in and, talking to the Team Liquid guy, even Hiko acknowledges it. Him and Simple and Peacemaker have had their heads butt frequently when they're in boot camping, when they're in practice. And it's a daily thing. It was starting into it. But now because of this demand of respect, because Peacemaker says you can't get away with this, you can actually see Simple buying into this system that he's enacting. You can see Nitro being an entry fragger now for the team.
So here's an interesting detail to add to that, okay, which is that I actually heard in the Tempo Storm Now Immortals team that basically Phelps was in a similar position, right? He's a very talented player, but the reason he'd never been even considered for a team like Luminosity, now SK, was people said, oh, he's like the Simple of the scene, he's too toxic, he's too wild, you can't control him. Well, obviously, while Peacemaker was actually the coach of that team was when that guy got his head together, he became part of the team, he became, for me, the best player in that team, actually, and we've seen since then, Immortals is a fantastic team, and I actually think that's one of the rare cases where Peacemaker leaving Immortals for whatever reasons was actually a move that ended up working out for both people. Immortals figured out their own system, they used Bolts as the in-game leader, they managed to go ahead and win DreamHack. Now over here we have Team Liquid making the semi-finals, so I think it's been a good addition.
Yeah, and so have we. It's been a small addition to the show, but it does look like issues are resolved. And so finally, we can get involved into this second semi-final. It's time to see how Cobblestone plays out between Fnatic and Liquid. Your casters are going to enjoy this one. James and DDK, you can carry on now.
Right then, we are around 30 seconds away to the beginning of this match. Just to recap, Fnatic are going to be starting the first map on the CT side. Do wonder if they're going to opt for double ops or if they'll even have the economy to do so sometime during the map, and Liquid again will be starting on the T side. So it's Hiko's second test. He's come a long way. You saw his VT there, tried to build a super team. It all fell apart, and now he's back with a very strong team indeed. Is this the team to take him to the final, or will Fnatic shut them down as they did Gambit? We are soon to find out.
Yeah, this is a very scary team, and they've had some great results already on Cobblestone, which is why they're going to it here. And we're about to see them set the pace because they're going to be kicking things off on the T side when we get into this pistol round. So Liquids, they're going to have a lot to answer for against the defense of Fnatic, which is very legendary. And let's see how they decide to go for the buy right now. Looks like we have some grenades here on Hiko. We've got Kevlars all around on the rest of the players. So likely a fast round here from Team Liquid as Fnatic themselves are Kevlaring up as well. Just a kit on one player and the rest are Kevlars. So I expect a lot of crazy action here towards the B-bomb site.
Yeah, Crims has a HE and he's headed over towards the B-bomb site. So if there was a fast rush towards platform, he would cause some trouble, but you see players going instantly into drop, and they could go for an A split here. Dennis is going to be outnumbered by these players, but they're in a choke point at the moment. Dennis can't get any frags though. Flash is going to get the first one and come in from the back is JW. So this is looking good for the CT so far. Dennis with a headshot, another one, and it's 5 versus 2 here. Not working out for Liquid at the moment.
But Simple's still alive, and he will respond with a quick headshot onto Flusher, so the hope is not dead just yet. But there is certainly a lot of work to do. They do have time. That is something that is in their favor, although not much else is. And now Hiko will fall Simple without any comrades to assist him as he's pinned down by the wooden fence, and surely there's absolutely nothing to be done here, but he'll find a straight bullet there to the head of Olofmeister. Still though, 3 players left to find. Oh, Simple finds himself another one. Suddenly this becomes doable, but shut down by Crims as he puts an end to the shenanigans, and Fnatic will claim the pistol round.
Strong start from Fnatic after a nice pistol strat from Liquid, but it just couldn't get through that choke point with the important frag, so they will go 1-0 down. And again, Cobblestone, we always mention, is often a map where if you lose the pistol, the first pistol on the CT side, you often have a terrible CT side, so that is a crucial start for Fnatic, an opportunity missed for Team Liquid. They're not going to go for a force buy here, despite not getting the bomb down in that particular round. So interesting times ahead. We'll have to see what Team Liquid go for. Maybe a bit of a surprise buy in the next round, as they've invested next to nothing in this particular round. Jw up close with the Mag 7, looking for the meat shots there. That's 2 players over to the Butchers. Olofmeister, double Mag 7 coming in. More players in that drop zone. Down goes Olofmeister. Jw down to 5 HP. He needs help from his teammates. Then it's coming in for support. And Simple's alone versus 4. He's got a deagle, but no more opportunities. Crims will take him down.
That is a pretty strong deflection there from Fnatic. Obviously, those Mag 7s really paying off, and not just in securing the round, but also making them that bonus money from all the frags. And normally Team Liquid, of course, we saw a lot of Deagles there. They've got a lot of players that can just pop heads from distance with those. And players like Simple, I really feel like Simple is one of, and sometimes the best Deagle player in the world, just because his raw aim is just unmatched at points. Either way, it's going to be that 2-0. Liquid going with again a similar buy, just investing in a few pistols to get the economic damage onto Fnatic. So let's see if they can find a better engagement than rushing down drop into double Mag 7.
Yeah, it's really interesting. They've gone for basically 2 hard ecos here, apart from Simple, who's gone for full armor and a deagle in this particular round. But that's a 3-man spray down, make it 4. Then it's taking down Hiko, so that money's gone completely down the drain. The money's fairly good for the next buy from Team Liquid, but Simple's down to 1,600. So disadvantaging himself for the coming run when the rest of his team's going to be on the buy. Not a single frag for Team Liquid in that round. We'll have to see what kind of utility they're bringing into the next round here. And again, Simple is not starting with a lot. He's not going to have much in the name of grenades, but he is one player who you'll just want with this crosshair up.
And it's really cool that Simple, he can be an amazing dedicated AWPer, but you actually get way more value out of him having the most equipment he can have in the most rounds possible, because he always can find frags out of nothing. And that's why I really like how he works with this lineup, having JDM as a dedicated AWPer. And I think he's very comfortable with that role as well. Obviously, in past teams, there's been a bit of turmoil because he wanted to be the dedicated AWPer. But in this team, I'm sure it makes sense for him. And we're going to see some pressure towards the plateau quickly, and Simple is going for that very aggressive play straight towards the end, looking for that opening entry against the defense here of the Swedish side. Simple goes straight down the stairs and will be dispatched by Olofmeister now as Liquid are down a man.
JDM has an angle he can go for to kind of pre-aim the other side of this drop area, but it's nice to see Fnatic using the tree position. It's kind of fallen out of favor on CT holes recently. We haven't seen that many people over towards the tree, and again, gives you height advantage. You can see over the smokes. You can see the backs of people's heads without them seeing anything. JDM moves just before taking the shot there. What a cheeky Molotov as well. That is very brazen and typical of Fnatic.
So now, I mean, actually a lot of time has passed, and Liquid, they haven't been able to find a response to the frag that went the way of Fnatic, and we can see them starting to make their efforts, and perhaps they will commit towards this A-bomb site, as Alij is going to find that Danger's clear, A-long is clear, and the bomb is starting to rotate there as well. And Fnatic, with the man advantage that they have, are playing very passively, and this is a huge round because they haven't really invested in rebuying some of those weapons. We still see a Mag 7, a UMP, and a FAMAS, so the weapon advantage is with the aggressors in Team Liquid at the moment, but time is slowly running out, and they are being continually delayed by the grenades of Dennis here. Liquid need to push in now, and that's what they're going to do.
Push comes in from lower and higher. There's only 2 people on the side here for Fnatic, and that's 1 taken down now. Dennis only has a FAMAS, but he's a very strong fragger. Can he get the kills? No. Hiko takes him down. The choke points are in control of the T's here. Nitro is going to spray down JW as well. 4 versus 2 at the moment, and again, Fnatic on the wrong end of these choke points, but money's in their favor. They've won a lot of rounds without losing many players already, so they can choose to go for this, but they're going to save. Olofmeister moving well out of the way, and Crims will retreat as well.
So the good old save there, and that's how this round should always have went. If Fnatic got off to a start where they're able to actually not really invest anything and kind of play greedy in that economic fashion, starting off with the worst buy and so on, then they are really going to start to run away with things. So it's very cool to see for us. As fans, we want a close series because Liquid, they answer straight back. They're going to force Fnatic to save a couple weapons, and they'll have plenty in the bank to buy up fully in the following round. And Liquid have done enough here, and they themselves will survive with 4 players, so that's going to be good for them too, moving into the future rounds when Fnatic invariably get some of those frags onto the Liquid players. But the interesting thing now is going to be the selection of a strategy from Liquid, because Liquid are going to realize that Fnatic still have a very strong buy, and they likely want to avoid wherever the AWP is going to be. But it's hard to predict with Fnatic because any one player can pick it up for a fast timing.
See, the support is still strong in the arena here for Fnatic. The Europeans are here in force, and they're supporting the Swedes on this occasion, at least the loudest people are. Dennis and JDM both on the Orcs in this round. Flutter over towards Long. He's not allowed Dennis to be towards the connector door. He can quickly rotate towards B should it be required and hold down the lower area for Flusher, who's also moved towards Danger. CJW holding close with the Mag 7 at the moment. Olofmeister and Crims over towards A. And again, Crims is going to be a key player. He's between Olofmeister and JW, so he can offer support to either player on the CT side. Again, just initial passive angles being held by Liquid, waiting for those initial nades to come in from Fnatic. Then they will choose their decisions where they want to push.
So here it comes. We have Liquid slowly making a few edges here in towards that drop zone, as well as pushing along. So starting to get a really good feel for the map, and yet to meet any resistance from the Swedish side. Flusher there's keeping tabs on this situation. I think he realizes that there's at least 1 or 2 players there, but he won't know that the entire team is actually rotating all the way around. So Liquid, a very slow approach in their default, making some presence all across the map, obscuring the information a little bit, so Fnatic don't quite know, forcing Fnatic into more defensive positions. And we can see Dennis there is by the APC, so he won't have a chance to get too many shots off because he's already in a very far back position. Liquid has set this up well, but the execution has to go smoothly as they push into this site.
25 seconds, not a single frag for either player. The CT's rotating already. Trades coming in there. Dennis with a nice angle of the AWP now. Down goes JDM. That's an important frag. And Team Liquid have to cross that path into the A bomb site there. Dennis going down as well. Another trade. Man advantage now for the CTs. Soon disappears. We're on the CTs now. Olofmeister coming in from the back. Crims is up close, holding an angle while his teammate comes in. Elige is looking for an opening for his teammate. He's got a nice position, but there's not much of a crossfire, not much of a trade situation here for these two Ts. Not for the two CTs either. Hiko with another headshot. 2 versus 1 now. Crims has to try and avoid being traded here. Has to position himself. He doesn't know where Elige is though. It's a bit of a gamble for him. He's got some time. He's got a kit, but he needs to find somebody soon. Hiko comes out now, shoulder pick, doesn't need to peek again. Elige will come in and take Crims down. Again, position unknown. Very nice play by the two Liquid players.
The 1-2 combo there for the second round on the board for Liquid, as they will be in a position where the economy for Fnatic is starting to really be strained, but they can actually still get a buyout because of the way they started the game. They played it so well, economically. They got that round where they were able to deflect the push with the Mag 7s, racking up all that bonus money, carrying those Mag 7s into the future rounds, and also saving a couple rifles. It gives them these extra rounds, these extra tries, and that's very unusual considering how few rounds Fnatic actually won at the start of this match.
Look at Nitro. He's holding a Mac 10, and let's just bear in mind, Hiko has $6,500 here. Nitro's in a Mac 10. Why? Because he knows that worst case scenario, Fnatic have a force buy here. They can't afford to have helmets. Only 3 players have helmets. Sorry, 2 players have helmets on Fnatic, which means Nitro can just pop these people in the face if it gets close enough. Maybe JD won't let him. Flusher gets taken down by the AWP.
So problems here for Fnatic as we start to see the rotation as a response to losing a man, and Liquid all over the bomb site now as we have Dennis looking for the kill on the flank. He's going to pick it up against Simple, but traded quickly back by Elige, or Hiko rather, as it's looking very difficult. This bomb site is somewhat impenetrable. JW cannot find a way in, and JDM will be locking it down with an AWP of his own as JW scrambles to try to save this big green gun of his. Very expensive weapon, and now Fnatic's economy truly has been broken, so really nice approach there from Liquid. You can see that they've mixed up the paces there, so Fnatic can't, it's hard for Fnatic to make information plays if they can't read how fast or slow Liquid are playing, because if they're playing very fast and you try to make an information play too early, then you have a very risky aggression on your hands, and that's going to be in favor of Liquid. So that's why it's so important that, Hiko is going to be, and also Peacemaker, who's coaching them, grasps this concept that it's very important to always vary up that pace, and so far it's been definitely paying off, I should say, and so JW might be able to save this AWP after all.
If you look at the interview that Flusher had after playing Gamba, he said he didn't really need to call strats, they just did whatever they wanted. And that's one of the most dangerous things about Fnatic, is that they can do that. And at the moment, you could argue that Liquid are playing against that by purely having the numbers game over towards a site that's almost always going to have less numbers, the A site. They're coming in late, they're coming in for the trades, and it's working so far. Now the question is, how are Fnatic going to use this AWP? They're likely going to use it aggressively. JW can go towards the mid area, towards double doors, put a smoke down, look over the smoke towards the boulder position, can go A long as well, but he can also be boosted into the drop zone, or just hold an angle standing on somebody if he has a good spawn, and it seems he might be headed in that direction. So let's see if they're going to boost him in mid, or is he going to go over towards the B bomb site. It seems it is the latter.
So we have the majority of Fnatic also towards this position where Liquid are going to also be. Will JW be able to capitalize Now, surely they should expect him to be somewhere. But as you highlighted, there are quite a lot of options, so it's quite hard to predict which one it's going to be. And they're deciding to play it somewhat slowly in the hopes that perhaps Fnatic will give away exactly where JW is positioned currently, but that's not to be the case just yet. Fnatic realize that the element of surprise is absolutely everything in a situation like this. And they're trying to prolong that element of surprise for as long as they can, but JW is already going to pick up the first frag, but that's going to encourage players to JW's position. He misses the shot. He's been found right now. Liquid know they don't have to push into JW, and they have plenty of time to do whatever the hell they want right now.
That's it. Simple is going a bit crazier. I think they just unleashed the beast. He's trying to charge onto the sites here, running into angles, and that's a bit crazy, and this is not working out for Liquid. They are going into the meat grinder now. The bomb's down. He needs to collect it. They have no choice but to keep pushing in this direction. Almost 45 seconds on the clock. There are options for them, but the problem is if they move away from the site, then their weapons can be picked up as well. All 4 players here for Fnatic on the site now. JDM needs to put in yet more work. They're just holding angles for the time being. The AWP is down, but Crims has an AK at the moment. Down goes Nitro. Now it's going to be hard for JDM not to get traded. The numbers are too great. Down goes one. Instant trade coming in for Fnatic, and they will take a very unlikely round. And that's really worrying, Dan, because if you go back to when JDM got that pick on Olofmeister towards B, Simple just comes charging through the smoke. He should have been taken down by JW. I mean, he needs to work with his team. It needs to be flashing for him to do that kind of stuff. Otherwise, this might happen.
Well, it's completely crazy because they know exactly where the AWP is at that point. So there's loads of ways that they can play that round. And they actually decide to play the most kind of balls out way where they're just going to, well, just charge. And as you say, Simple kind of commits his teammates by making a move like that because they can't give him up for free. So, awkward situation. Both teams, though, still with a strong buy fulfilled into this round. So, it's very back and forth at the moment, which is what we like to see. And where is the difference going to be made? That is the question. We do have the very standard smokes put down here on the on the plateau area. You can see Olofmeister, who is near the broken wall, and that's just to control the flow of the T's, not to allow them to make plays as we saw Simple do previously, where they just take all the real estate very quickly. That said, though, we do have a man creeping up there, and I do believe it is actually Nitro on this occasion. So forward positioning on the plateau here for Team Liquid, very passive towards the A side of the map, waiting for perhaps Fnatic to make a push. So it's very likely actually that the Liquid, if they don't see anything towards the A side of the map, if there's no other cause for worry towards B, they're just going to go for a B hit here. But Fnatic will have no idea.
Harassment begins from both sides towards the bomb site. Look at these grenades streaming into the site now. But there's no commitment from Team Liquid. They're still in somewhat passive situations in terms of the push. The bomb's moving away from the B bomb site, but Fnatic don't seem to be believers. Flush is starting to rotate from A to B. Simple and Nitro are committing to the harassment here. There's a wall of smokes. Fnatic don't know what's going on. Hiko taking down JW, may switch the bomb, but the bomb's still headed towards A, and Dennis is going to take it down. The bomb's fallen down. JD's picked it up, and he's going to trade. This is really important. Flusher can rotate back, but he doesn't seem to believe it. JDM's rotating over towards the B bomb site now. This is absolute madness, 2 versus 2, and JDM has to run for his life to get that bomb down. 25 seconds left.
Yeah, knife out all the way on the sprint as JDM tries to get his position towards that bomb site. And Simple, he's holding a very nice off angle here. It's actually pretty commonly used, but it's always going to be hard to deal with, especially if you don't have grenades. But there are a lot of grenades, and Simple's going for the play forwards here towards the door. Let's see if he's going to be able to get these kills here. And it looks like the cross has been made there by JDM. He will secure the bomb plant just with a couple seconds to spare, as Simple will not be discovered in time by Flusher. He will fall, and now it's just going to be on the shoulders of Olofmeister, the Swedish superstar from Fnatic. He's in a very perilous situation as he tries to make his way forwards. Can't quite get it done. It's Simple with the double in the 2 versus 2 to secure the round for Liquid as they break the economy of Fnatic.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of cash onto Flusher and Dennis, so it's going to be interesting to see what they wanted to do there. But that round was almost a complete disaster for Liquid. Once Hiko, I mean, Simple and Nitro are basically on the B bomb site. Hiko gets the kill from the drop zone onto the connected player, but the bomb is still headed towards A. I think you have to call the rotation towards B there. Dennis going aggressive, going for the flank. Almost gets a 2-man sprayed on there, but JDM manages to trade, rotates back to B. That could have been a catastrophe, but here we go. It's that extra money is going to be spent on those 2 players. We have Double Deagle and Kevlar with another Deagle in tow onto Olofmeister. And Liquid can't make the same mistakes they made last time. They need to be meticulous on the ecos and the force buys of Fnatic, otherwise they will lose rounds. And we've seen that kind of crazy play before. I mean, obviously that's Simple style, and you have to allow it. It's going to work sometimes and not work in others, but it can cause problems for the team as well. So far, so good, though. Elige back down to the Mach 10, taking down Flusher, but there's many more players to find.
Yeah, he's got the clipboard out. He's looking for the information for his team, and there is some information. And the trade might be real here, though. Dennis does do a little bit of extra damage, but is there really an opportunity? It would seem not for Fnatic to get anything else done at this point. As the bomb site's been taken over, there will be 2 players rushing in and just wanting to get it over with. 5-4 now the score as Liquid take the lead. This is a good start for them on Cobblestone, especially considering that they had a very painful situation at the start where Fnatic were able to win that pistol round. And you can see that it's not really taken Liquid out of their focus. They're not phased at all by this. And right now it's Fnatic on the back foot. And not only that, they're going to have a buy here, which is going to be somewhat inferior. Sure, they've got a bunch of grenades. They're lacking helmets, though, which won't actually matter in this situation. But there's actually no kits. There's no defuse kit on any one of these Fnatic players. And that could be a problem later in the round.
I think Fnatic have no intention of a bomb going down in this situation. We'll see JW close with the Mag 7, maybe around the drop again, maybe over to the crack in the wall a bit later, but we've seen Olof and Crims have been there for the most part. Dennis with the AWP over towards Long now. Nitro's coming in very fast, looking to break the economy immediately here. Either charging around the site, and there's still Simple to come, but Elige is going to be the one to take the place now that Nitro's gone down.
Yeah, they're coming in waves, and each wave is stronger than the last now as Liquid fully occupy the B bomb site, putting the bomb down as JW looks for the perfect timing with the grenades of his teammates to get himself a push with that Mag 7. It's going to be all down to the timing there. Will JW find it? What? That was incredibly long range there from that Mag 7. However, it will be Simple to trade frags back, and it's going to be an easy take, it would seem. After all is said and done, after the dust settles, Liquid will be alive with 3 players, and Dennis is looking to save the AWP now for Fnatic.
And that's one of the most dangerous things about this Liquid side, this roster. Nitro charges into the site, takes a play down. It's like, okay, we've taken care of Nitro, he's dead. Well, here comes Elige, and then comes Simple. It's just problem after problem on the T side here for Fnatic. And Liquid have 6 of 10 rounds on Fnatic CT side. You have to be sweating a bit if you are a Fnatic player right now.
Yes, stuff is starting to get out of hand, and I really think that this is definitely a battle of confidence between Liquid and Fnatic, because again, there's so much individual skills, so many emotional players in that sense that the better things are going for them, the more powered up they're going to get. And right now, Fnatic are on the receiving end of what is essentially demoralizing situations where essentially Liquid is saying, look, we can take you down in these 1 versus 1s, we can outskill you, and that's Fnatic's bread and butter. So of course, they have a lot of experience. They're a championship-level team. They will have the composure to deal with this situation. But it's very interesting how that dynamic's going to play forwards for Liquid.
Dennis looks like he's about to get some action. I think it's Nitro and Elige which are headed in his direction here. They'll be looking to play the trade game. They'll notice and run past the angle here. Very nicely done indeed, and they won't get taken down. Dennis has to run away. And now Liquid have identified where the saved AWP is. Does this mean they move quickly into B? A fast play may not be the right idea considering all the CZs and P250s and such are still to be identified. They know where 1 player is, but where are the other 4? That is a big question here. Are they being baited to rotate towards B, or is everybody stacking on the A side? This is what Liquid need to find out with this minute 10 on the clock.
And slowly we get the creep there from Liquid towards the middle area, towards A, and there's only 1 player there to receive them. It's Flusher with a P250 and nothing else. So Flusher might actually be able to somehow engineer a 1 versus 1, which would be quite nice. If you can isolate players in this situation from the Fnatic perspective and pick up an AK-47 to maybe try to save or try to force them to kill you or get extra damage out of, that's a great situation for you. And you can see actually right now on the rotation, Fnatic have sent extra players towards A, so they obviously are trying to kind of guess as to where they think Liquid are going, but right now they would be wrong because Liquid's main hit is coming into the B-bomb side, but Crims is going to be there, ready to receive the push. He's got a Deagle, he's got a headshot. What else can he get? It's JDM looking for the repeat there, and Crims will get punished as there are now just 3 men standing, but 1 is coming in quickly on the flank.
Flusher's coming in from the back, and Nitro is hot on his heels. Hiko holding down a drop position. JW is going to wait for the smoke to disappear, but surely Hiko's at an advantage here. He smells the rat and takes it down. JDM not going to take his play down. That's really good. Dennis now is the last man standing with the AWP. Will get a kill onto Hiko, but the hunt will be on. Nitro already coming in for a flank there. Dennis will do his best to hide, but it's another round in the bag for Liquid. They've got momentum on their side. This will be their 4th round in a row, and it will be their 7th round in 8.
So things are going quite well indeed for the Liquid camp. I mean, we're hearing a lot of awesome chanting there from the crowd. It's an amazing crowd here at the Lions Arena. All the support for Liquid, and maybe it's paying off. Fnatic, though, they are definitely going to be needing some support of their own, as Dennis is going to be trying to save this AWP. He will actually, it looks like he's going to manage to do it. Oh no, sorry, he's going to go down rather.
Denied.
As Simple is able to get that frag. So right now, Liquid are really beating Fnatic to the punch, and we're going to see another buy coming in from Fnatic, but this is one of the demoralizing things about playing Cobblestone, is that on the CT side, if you're losing loads of rounds, and it's very hard to find a way that you can impose your will onto the round, because it's very hard to push the map for information. It's very risky to do that. So it always feels like you're just receiving whatever the other team brings to you, and Liquid obviously get to dictate the pace, and whatever's working for them, they can just keep doing that. And Fnatic right now haven't found an answer.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis is getting more aggressive towards the mid area, and almost the entire team is here for Liquid. Over towards A. Flush has won his own. Going to get a nice nade in there, but not too much damage done. Hiko's going to take a chunk, but that could have been much worse. So Dennis and Flusher both isolated. Those smokes will hold down their positions for the time being, but once those disappear, they'll be forced to retreat. I don't know if there was lots of spray there from Liquid, but Dennis has come in to join Flusher, so it seems they realize they might be in a bit of trouble. They are very far away from the other three players on the CT side. Flusher holding a bit of an angle. Dennis deep into danger now, and the entire Liquid team is coming for them. They're being hunted like dogs, Dan.
And Dennis is going to start to get challenged there, and it's going to be a very swift challenge as Elise easily takes him down, sends him flying down those stairs. Now as Flusher waits patiently with no support to work with, Flusher has it all to do, but the bomb is there, so if he can get that kill, maybe he can buy some extra time for the rotation. He will get one frag, and he will go for a quick repositioning here. Flusher needs to just show star-level performance, but Elise will not give him the opportunity. It's now Olofmeister who's in there, but just as quickly as he came, he has been eliminated, and it looks like Team Liquid have once again shut Fnatic out as they desperately try to get back in. They just keep getting denied. Just JW now in a 1 versus 2.
He could do this. It's a 1 versus 2, as you said. He just needs to find a trade fragger first. He's looking for him. He knows one player's on the site. He didn't have time to get out of there unless he's behind the wood. But there's movement from JDM, and he's going to take JW down. Not sure if JW heard the drop there, but he's going to go down nonetheless. Problems and more problems here for Fnatic. Are we going to see an 11-4 half here?
It's really, really possible, but whatever Liquid do to Fnatic, Fnatic are very capable of doing it back to them, assuming that they're able to get that pistol round victory. That said, Fnatic did actually win the pistol round, by the way, and that's something that's very interesting to note, because obviously right now we have 5 rounds, 1 in a row from Liquid. They're on a complete tear at the moment, and this is definitely bad news here for the Swedes, and they're going to go for a bit of a half buy here, just buying up a few pistols and a couple Kevlars, just because they have a lot of money on the loss bonus. They can afford to do this and still get a big buy in the following round. So let's see if they can get something out of this. You never know in CSGO. Simple might be the first man to find a player here from the side of Fnatic, but he will be smoked away. And so no engagement just yet. Might see a slower round as Liquid start to run an anti-eco type strategy.
Good to see more discipline from the T side as well after that ruptured anti-eco, that first anti-eco. Olofmeister is playing pretty close to the smoke on B plateau, so I'm wondering if we're going to see a push here, although Simple is holding an off angle. Speaking of angles, Flusher and Dennis over towards the A site, pretty far away from the engagement points at the moment, and with mere P250s and the like, that is not really what they want. Flusher on a deagle, actually, so that won't be too bad. Dennis on the CZ, going towards the lower area, but Liquid's, they've gone over towards B on their anti-ecos, and now they're going to start harassing A, but with a good timing, Simple will cause some problems over towards the B area. I'm not sure if JW will hear the rotation, though.
So there's the first frag, nice Molotov there, and this is exactly how you want to do it. We're seeing a very nicely run anti-eco coming out, but Crims is going to win himself an AK-47 and a frag to boot, as we have more players here from Liquid just stuck as the rotation comes in. They might be able to even win this round, despite the fact that they can't really reclaim these weapons. Crims is still in position, and there are still more players to try to power through as we get Hiko going for the entry. The bomb now has been reclaimed by Simple. 15 seconds left on the clock to plant the bomb, and there are 2 players on the site. This could get very messy indeed right now as we get JDM able to make the frag onto JW. Just enough time to get the plant in now, and it's all going to be on Olofmeister. He's found an AK, but Hiko will find him first. 9-4 as Liquid claim yet another round, but it was an expected one.
That was a desperate kill at the end there. I don't think they had time. We didn't see what was happening with the bomb, but Flusher was at the back of the site as well. He was ready to cause problems. He's a problem maker, and problems he made, but he finally got taken down. Olofmeister was crucial, but Hiko with a 6th sense got a very crucial frag indeed. 9-4, Fnatic coming back into the buy now. We saw Dennis get a bit more aggressive towards mid, but not too much in the previous rounds. Now he's on the second AWP, so we might see him play round the door itself if the smoke goes down.
So a stark change in how they can go for the defense here. Liquid have been mixing it up a lot, actually. Their defaults have been pretty awesome, to be honest. They're not really showing Fnatic, too much of a pattern right now because of the nature of their defaults. They have presence everywhere. Sometimes they go A, sometimes they go B, sometimes the round is fast, sometimes it's slow. It's very hard to understand what to do against that. Fnatic just trying to get it done with their skill, and right now it looks like Liquid just want a straight up push into the B bomb, so we'll have to see if that's how this is going to end up, but there are only 3 players right now there for Fnatic to respond with. So if Liquid are able to explode when onto the B bomb side when those smokes, the defensive smokes of Fnatic dissipate, there could be problems. There might not be enough bodies behind this defense for the Swedish side.
Fnatic just waiting now. So many counter nades and nades coming in from both sides. Oh, Nitro, the end of the magazine, going to get clipped there. And Hiko is going to get clipped as well. Massive damage coming in, but JW is going to get traded. Trades on both sides. Suddenly it's a 3 versus 3. Flush is miles away. Grips has to put in work here. 2 kills for him. JDM on the site now. Needs to plant while Elige holds the angle. But again, Flush is coming in from the back. Elige is looking for a flanker as well. JDM holding the angle. They've got 40 seconds to do this. Wait for one of these CTs to overextend. Goes for the plant now. And then we'll see Dennis and Flusher starts to creep. Will Liquid pick the correct angles? Elige trying to support his teammate, but Elige has to look towards drop and towards plateau at the same time. Dennis goes down. Elige sees the trajectory of the flashbang. They know where he is now.
Here he comes. Well, that's what he wants to do anyway, but these nades are all over the place. Flush is going to find it very difficult to make an entry. He's going to force his way through a smoke, straight into the loving embrace of Elige's AK-47, and that is another round going in favor of Team Liquid. When will it cease? We haven't seen a single response really from Fnatic. They are getting absolutely dominated by Team Liquid. Usually it works the other way around.
Elige looks too young for a loving embrace, Dan, but he is regarded as one of the best players in North America, and he's showing it now. Always strong for them in these clutch situations. Last round of the first half, and Fnatic don't have much to fight with. A distinct lack of utility. They'll be unable to slow Liquid down. Liquid, who've been playing slow anyway, but they can much easier exhaust the grenades of Fnatic should they choose to. But they're moving quickly towards the bomb site. Is this going to be a fast play from them? Olofmeister getting in position around that smoke with a Mag 7. He could do a lot of damage here, and he's going to avoid the flashbang as well, coming in from the back, taking down Nitro. There's Elige as well. How many more can he get? Is he going to send these players to the butchers with the meat shots there? Looking for JDM. Spot simple. He's finally going to get taken down. But it's a 4 versus 2.
Yeah, this is finally looking good for Fnatic if they found a way to eke out a round. Took a Mag 7. And a very angry Olofmeister and a flank from JW. Finds Hiko there as he remains hidden, and Dennis will clean up simple. 5-10, the only response for Fnatic after their initial flurry of rounds will be right at the end of the first half. Liquid have set themselves up wonderfully going into the second half of the first map of this best-of-3 series here for the Major.
That is a colossal half for Team Liquid. 10 rounds on their T side. It is a slightly favoured side on this map, but 10 rounds against a team the calibre of Fnatic is absolutely monstrous. That's very strong indeed. Fnatic, it is a best-of-3. Do you think they'll be shaken at the score so far?
I don't think they will. I think Fnatic are too experienced for that. I think they've been through too many tournaments. They have that championship quality. But will that championship quality come out to play in this series, or will Liquid run them over? We'll find out after the break.
10-5 is the score. Liquid leading the charge here, but it's their turn to defend now versus Fnatic, who have only 5 rounds on the board on their CT side. Can they bring it back on the T side there?
That is the question. This is the kind of a T side where you truly get to impose your will on your opponent, and there's not too much they can really do to stop it. And we saw that Liquid had their turn to do that, and they were actually very successful. Usually that's something that Fnatic can really use to their advantage to get in the heads of their opponents. You'll see JW going mental, just hitting that drop zone really hard, or Olofmeister charging up the B plateau, looking like a god, able to just tap down, falls left and right. But can they bring it back after such a demoralizing first half? That is truly what we're here to find out.
Well, let's see what Fnatic have planned for this, mostly North American side. We've got Crims on a P250, Smoke and a Flash, and 4 Glocks and Kevlar for the Fnatic side. Only 3 players of Kevlar here for Liquid, and 2 Smokes for the CTs. Nitro still buying a CZ, no defuse kit actually, so curious to see what they have planned with these 2 smoke grenades. Slow start here for Fnatic. Olofmeister holding a very passive angle towards A. And Liquid seem to think maybe it's going to be a fast B play, putting 4 players in that direction. How long will they hold over there with no information?
Yeah, I like this slow pace here from Fnatic. They're trying to bait out a response, but now it's time to go. And Nitro is locking down the window. No way into connector. Crims is just taking another glance there because he needs to create a distraction right now. He needs to just create so much of a noise that they don't notice the bomb quickly approaching towards that A bomb site. That's where the real play is, and so far it's working. There are still 4 Liquid players towards B. Now they know, but it's too late. Dennis with the fast frag on the Simple. Sure, he could get the return, but the bomb will be planted. Dennis posting a defense by the APC now as that bomb ticks away. 3 versus 3 as Dennis pops more heads. Is this guy done just yet? I don't even know. He's got Olofmeister for support as well. This is a very tough re-entry for Liquid. What? Dennis is getting in there again, and there might be one more, of course. Dennis with the ace to kick off the second half. Fnatic needed that, and Dennis delivered.
Well, I don't know why Liquid, you can't stand in a choke point. He's got a P2000, he has the range to headshot you. There's only such a small space that he needs to aim at there. You can't just jiggle left and right in that tight. You gotta go through the door, you gotta go in the door, Dad. You gotta go, the door's open and go in the door. 4 rounds between these 2 sides now, and that is not good for Liquid. That is not good for Liquid. They're gonna be going for the buy here. It's more as a forced buy save for JDM who wants the AWP. We've got Kevlar's being picked up, Smoke's being picked up. This will be a desperate defense, and this is a round that they really need to win. Otherwise, I'm afraid for them.
Well, it's cool, isn't it? Because Fnatic, they get that start to get the confidence running, to boost the morale. Now we might just get a very close matchup. We'll have to see how it goes if Fnatic can keep this this train running at the moment. As we've got JW waiting for the push. Doesn't actually get the frag, though. So that's kind of unfortunate because, he was waiting for that. He's expecting it. And it's going to be Flusher who's able to open things up towards B Plateau. 2 players dead, 3 remaining is what that means. And that means Fnatic should have an easy way to play the numbers into the B bomb site, and that's what they're going to do. And it looks like a pretty easy cleanup. A little bit awkward to begin with over on the drop zone, but Fnatic claiming around flawlessly as they should.
Just a quick note back to the pistol. I liked the CT position with the CZ outside the window. That's really smart. Somebody comes jumping in, you can just spray them down. So more of that, please, CT sides. But Liquid have failed on the first test there, going into Hodor mode. And now we have Simple picking up a cheeky tase, only $200 in fact. So we'll see where he chooses to take that. One day, when are we going to see 5 tases on Eco Dan? That's the question. 5 tases has to happen at some point. Why not? $200, let's go. Maybe Simple can get something done here. But Fnatic look good to close the gap between these 2 teams to 2 rounds. And maybe the fact that only JDM didn't go for the 4-buy tells you how at least Liquid want to start on their CT side with the 1 AWP, but maybe we will see 2 later on.
So it is a slow start as Fnatic start to just run that anti-eco. They slowly start to take some map control here. I actually like how quickly JW's managed to find his way into the drop. This does alleviate a lot of pressure from Fnatic because some teams take it a bit too slow and it can be hard to get that first forward position, but JW's done that already for Fnatic. And you can see actually that Fnatic have decided to rotate towards A actually, and that's where the bulk of Liquid actually will be defending from, but they're starting to rotate towards B, so JW's really sold the play into B, but that's not where the bomb is going, and Flusher is of course going to be able to easily make the first frag, so beautiful round actually here from Fnatic, I must say.
Simple has a nice spot for a Taze, especially with the angle that JW is holding if he takes down Hiko, but maybe Simple will get some action, maybe he won't. Other than that, there's not much really going on for Liquid here. So hopefully Hiko will die at some point, and then we'll see Simple come out with a Taze. He goes for it, but he's going to get taken down. He misses the shot. Olofmeister strafes just at the right time.
Don't tase me, bro.
Don't tase me, bro. So now the buy comes out for Liquid. They failed the pistol. They served themselves up on a plate for Dennis. He got the ace, and now Fnatic are a mere 2 rounds behind Team Liquid.
So this is what we wanted to see, and the AWP will be onto JDM64, and he is one of the guys that is so proficient at holding these really fast pushes into the B bomb side. I mean, I've seen so many highlight reels of him being able to do that. Of course, he's very versatile. We're actually going to see him with a quick timing going towards the A side of the map, throwing the smoke, and if he was to get an engagement there, you can see times the smoke, so he gets this very small window of like 200 milliseconds to take the shot, then he's covered and can escape quickly no matter what happens.
That's the angle I talked about earlier, where you can look over the smoke towards the boulder area, which is a common position for teams to take because they have reasonable cover from the boulder itself. But you can be susceptible to fast plays with that pop flash into the smoke as well. You can have T's charge through it, then your AWP is almost always getting taken out. So JDM has to be, he's forced to back off. He's holding a very passive angle at the moment because he's got nobody to support him from danger. Meanwhile, we have harassment coming in from Fnatic. JW rocking the MP7 will quickly upgrade as Crims gets launched into space. Hiko spotted there, but JW has to back away now. You can see them moving over towards long. Olofmeister is about to walk into the crosshairs of JDM, but you can see nobody supporting him in danger, so he doesn't know where to look. Misses a shot, unlikely from him. Down to 4 versus 4. Simple's going to be crucial now.
Yeah, and he already has players on his left, in front, and quickly coming to the right as well. He's going to have to push in. He finds the perfect timing! Simple gets 2 frags, and that's enough work that is now being done by him. But Dennis, he is going to open up the bomb site regardless of Simple's excellent play. As JW has a great engagement, Elise realizes that he's going to back away. There are still chances for him here. The bomb has yet to go down. There's still 30 seconds though, so he certainly is going to be very convinced, I think, that this will be the A-bomb site, but he can take a moment to have a breather. Both JW and Dennis are below 50% health as well.
JW heard Elige reload. He knows where he is coming from, which is why you see Dennis posting up now, covering JW's back with a bit of an off angle, but Dennis will have to peek at some point because he's not totally covering JW, and there it is. Elige has been spotted as well as heard now, and they will reposition accordingly, but they have no trade situation. JW gets taken down, and now Elige can go for it. We've got Clutch Master versus Clutch Master here, but Elige doesn't have a kit. He's got to move quickly, but he's still far away from the site. He finds an angle onto Dennis, and he takes the round to Team Liquid. A desperate, crucial round. Has he got time for the defuse, though? He might not, Dan.
It's going to be close. I think he's got this. I think he's got this. Elige, he's going to nail it, James. That is an amazing clutch to make if you're Elige on the team as well, because they don't look to Elige to get these clutches.
Told you, man. Elige is good, and Dennis is also a good guy to watch if you are on GoTV. Those are 2 very good players to watch for some crazy stuff here on Cobblestone. Dennis with 21 frags, far high and ahead of his team at the moment. Always shows up on Cobblestone, does Dennis. And he'll need to now because Fnatic are 3 rounds behind. They have a better buy though. They've got more money in the bank and they can still continue the pressure somewhat if they were to lose this one. They've got enough money to do that, I think. Hiko down to the max 7 now. Liquid have slightly less nades than they had in the previous rounds. And again, they won that one by the skin of their teeth. Elige playing close now to the drop. That is a place you can go for the mag 7 as well. JDM covering the high ground, missing another shot. JDM needs to hit his shots here. He can't afford to do this. He's going to get taken down. Elige needs to back off before he gets sprayed down. He'll get sprayed down. 2K for Olofmeister.
So it's down to the retake now, and Liquid, they're scurrying as quickly as they can back onto that A side. JW jumping on top of Hiko, but he will get eliminated by the max 7. But their health is diminishing rapidly for these Liquid players. They are so incredibly weak, but still picking up the frag. Simple with another one. Nitro is on 1 point of health right now, as we have Dennis in a great position with Crims as well. They can peek together. They have a lot of team play solutions to these oncoming players from Liquid as they try to work their way onto that defuse. And Crims waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and there it is. Nitro will serve himself up, and Simple will be an afterthought for Dennis, who's having the Cobblestone of the month. I would say life, but actually Dennis is a really good player, and he often performs like this, James.
You have to wonder, I mean, JDM's 14 for 12, but you have to wonder if he's a bit nervous or if he's just a bit fearful of how strong Fnatic are, because he seems to be moving just before taking his shot. He's missing shots that he never misses. He never misses these shots.
Yeah,
It's the scale of this event making him nervous.
I don't know, he's usually a player that, as I said before, like he performs when the spotlight's on him, when all the pressure's there. He's usually a guy that delivers. That's why he should be so good for Liquid. But what is awesome is that he has players to back him up. It's not something that has to play into his mind too much. But that said, we're going to get a fast play here from Flusher as he tries to work out what is the setup for Liquid right now, because they know that they don't have very much money. All right, then, so Flusher is dead, and rip Flusher. He is sent to the bench, and Fnatic are going to have to continue the round without him. And nice little risk coming in from Nitro, trying to push actually. That's a good gamble, but it's not going to pay off this time.
What do Fnatic do with that information? Olofmeister seems he's going to continue pushing over towards B, and he can do that because he's only got a Mac-10. Trying to draw some CTs away. He's got the attention of Elige with that scout. Might be hard to find through all of those smokes, and now it seems Fnatic are slowly creeping over towards B, although Olofmeister's not going to overextend too far. Going to wait for his team. He still has a minute on the clock here. There are 3 CTs to find. 2-man stack over towards the A bomb site. Liquid will be waiting for the time to run out to cause some bedlam there to stop that bomb from going down, but the bomb is far away towards the B bomb site. Elige trying to look at 2 places at once, spots a player to make the call to the team. Can they get there fast enough? No, instantly taken down.
And that should be the round shut out by Fnatic. Liquid, not much they can really do in this situation, but they do have, well, it's actually, they don't have anything to really work with. They are dead broke at the moment. This is actually really bad for Liquid, and it's looking very good if you are a Fnatic fan, because they should be able to tie the game up from this point. They've done enough at this stage. And that's great to see, because again, the first half looks so incredibly dominant for Liquid. Sometimes teams just can't come back from that, but Fnatic are showing that composure, that experience, and that mental constitution to just never be affected.
The thing is, I feel like Liquid don't necessarily need to have been in this situation if JDM just lands those crucial shots. He's holding an angle. Yatira presents himself in that angle, and all he needs to do is click, but he's moving before clicking. He can't have those nerves on this scale, on this stage, against this team. Fnatic moving within 1 round now, surviving with 3 players, excuse me. And again, Liquid flat broke right now. They're going to be ecoing for a while, yes.
Ecos will indeed continue to reign in, and it's an easy situation for Fnatic to play and also to read. I mean, we've got, again, Flusher with the Mac-10, and this is, just the information finder, the guy that can go first, take the risky engagements, and you're not giving up too much. He can go alone, because what is he dropping? He's dropping a Mac-10. Good luck making that useful against AK-47s. And it's also cool, that they also understand that we don't need an AWP for this round, so Flusher might be the guy that picks that up. If he dies, we'll have to see. Liquid, though, they will go towards the B-bomb site for a bit of a stack and hope to catch Fnatic off guard. But again, Fnatic will be so good at playing the information discovery that they should be fine. Flusher with a long-range Mac-10 kill. All right, then. And a third one to boot, so not looking too difficult here. Flusher is making his money back and then some.
And this is just showing you that Fnatic have a great read on the CT economy. He's got almost $11,000 now. So even if Liquid start to win rounds in the kind of clutch area of this map, the pressure's going to come time and time again for Fnatic. They're going to be up against AKs round after round. So they need to make this work. Now they have options available to them, but they don't always have armor if they want to go for more than one AWP. JDM picking up the AWP once again. And it's not like other teams. Like if you're Fnatic and JW's not feeling the AWP, he can throw the AWP to someone else. He can have Olofmeister, he can have Dennis off, and he can go for a rifle, and he's a strong rifler now. Not so on Liquid. You need JDM, he has to have that AWP. You can't have him rifling in place of a Simple, for example. That's just, it can't happen.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest weak points, I suppose, if you take Fnatic versus Liquid pound for pound on skill. Otherwise, in many instances, you're going to see a fairly close matchup in some regards. Either way, we've got a new approach here from Liquid. See, Elige is going for a little bit of a peek there by himself. He is actually playing with a teammate. JDM is there with the AWP. So Elige is kind of trying to bait it out a little bit and say, okay, I'm the guy that's here. I'm shooting some bullets through the smoke, trying to get the information for his team so that JDM is availed his shots. And he can't miss those shots.
Look at this.
And he will.
Olofmeister threw a flash as the smoke was disappearing, so he could have the angle held first. JDM throws a flash back to retake the angle, but he's unable to do so. They have strong enough positions, they don't get flashed, and they get the pick. JDM goes down. Olofmeister now coming close to try and harass. There's an important flash coming in for Elige. He was going to be in some trouble. Sees the trajectory, knows the player's coming, but he can't win the duel.
Yeah, again, another very desperate situation here for Liquid, 3 versus 5, but they have the bodies on the bomb site. Fnatic haven't actually committed just yet. They have the bomb still on the ground. It will be collected now, but they could actually just rotate towards A. They could wait a couple seconds as well and try to see if there's going to be a response from Liquid. And Liquid are now asking questions. They're starting to fan out a little bit because they're wondering, have Fnatic gone to the other site? And so that delay has worked out perfectly because now Fnatic are in a 5 versus 2 instead of a 5 versus 3 to take the bomb site. That's exactly what they're going to do. Just Simple left against 4 players. He'll get an initial engagement here, which he will win. The taps come in, but that's going to be that. Flusher will put an end to Simple and the round there for Liquid as they take 12. Fnatic now in the lead, 12-11.
It's unfortunate for Liquid. Fnatic didn't have the map control to rotate there, actually. Dennis was the closest man to A, and he was basically next to the drop zone, so they may have considered it, but it would have been a risk. They chose the right decision in the end, although 5 versus 3. Always going to be good for the T's. They continue to build money. Flusher heading towards 16K now, and there's nothing but poverty here for Liquid. The scout coming out onto Elise once again. They're going to be on maximum loss bonus in the next round, so they've left themselves enough to go for a full buy for the most part. And now they've lost the lead, so it's going to be a difficult map to claw back, to claw away from Fnatic's Kung Fu grip.
Oh yeah, I mean, Liquid have given them a lot of reasons to respect them, and we're actually seeing that, all that respect come out in rounds like this, where you see a lot of discipline applied from Fnatic on their anti-eco rounds. Look how amazing this is. They have that 3-man setup there for the push through long. Simple's getting naded into high heaven. Of course, he was already spotted by a player coming in on the underpass there in middle as well. So this is great execution from Fnatic.
Crims has got the bomb. Nitro's in a position where he could cause some serious problems here. That's a nice flash. Is Nitro going to be blind though? There it is. The CZ comes in. He's got one more place to contend with. But now there's a bit of a crossfire here for the CTs for Fnatic to deal with. They have a man advantage. That flash is important, and Dennis will take him down. That's the bomb rescued. JW gets taken down in the meantime, so does Dennis. And that's the problem from Nitro's position, has caused all this bedlam and mayhem. There's still time for a rotation to come in from Fnatic. Important frag onto Jaden, but where is Elise? She's got range with the scout, but he needs 2 shots unless he's going to get a headshot here. There are weapons for him to pick up, so as this rotation comes in towards B, he's got nothing to lose because of the loss bonus. He can try and pick up a rifle here. And Flusher, knowing this, maybe trying to protect these rifles and wait for this rotation to come in.
Yeah, this is very beautifully played actually from Fnatic. They, of course, make the smartest decision, and Flusher's trying to get that kill actually. Alicia's proving to be very, very hard to kill, but initially at least, Flusher will clean them up in the end. So another round from Fnatic, and they are a mere 3 away, taking away the dominance of Liquid and putting it straight back to them and doing it better than they did it. And right now we're going to get what can only be a tactical timeout here for the Team Liquid side.
Yeah, one of the better times to do it. When they've got their full buy, they've got full utility, they can do whatever they like. And again, this is time for them to discuss. What have we done well? Have Fnatic figured us out now? How are they getting the first opening pick, and what are we doing in response? How are they exploiting man advantages? Can we go for some aggression? And now look at, well, we can see a change. You can't see it just yet, but we'll mention it in due course. Liquid have made a change to their approach. They've kind of played the Joker card, if you will. Fnatic with a 2-round lead. Again, just loads of money. Flusher's almost on $15,000 here, and he's got his full buy in already. In fact, he was on 16 at the beginning of this round.
And this is a great spot for Peacemaker to really chime in, and everything that he's been learning from the heat of the moment can compile that data and really figure out, okay, is JDM having some spots right now where he's not having the best game? Does JDM feel confident to play some of these angles? They are going to pick up the double up in this situation, so that's going to be an interesting change. You know, Simple is incredibly proficient with that AWP. He hasn't brought it out too much just yet on the Team Liquid side, but we will see it now. So I'm very curious how that is going to play. Is he going to take JDM's position? Will JDM have a more conservative style, or is it, because to me, as you mentioned previously, this scoreline would probably look a lot different if JDM would just hit some of those first shots, which normally you would expect him to hit.
Yeah, Liquid haven't really got many frags over towards A at the beginning of rounds. If you go back to how Simple used to play as the secondary AWPer on flip side, he would be over towards A long, overextending, getting picked a lot of the time. We've seen how AWPers can have success over towards A long, being around a danger area or a little bit forward from there, holding angles, being able to retreat and take up another angle before the T's can get on top of you, having support from a rifler. That's possible for Liquid. They have 15 seconds to decide as they get ready for these double ops. Can go for a boost as well in the drop for a double op. And again, we mentioned how JDM can go over towards the mid area and look over the smoke. That has its own risks. We mentioned them before. Perhaps they rotate him there and put Simple over towards B. We are about to find out.
So we have the sawn off there for JW, so we'll start to see the typical JW shenanigans as he will rush the drop zone. It's pretty much the only super effective place to use that weapon, and Liquid already feeling the fast pace here as these nades start to come in, and they're already throwing out so many grenades as a response here, and this is exactly what Fnatic want. They can just wait. That said, Olofmeister goes down to very low health, and there it is. Simple picks up that frag towards A, and Hiko is able to get a frag onto JW. They felt like they had to respond, but JW pushed the smoke straight into a very weak Hiko. And Liquid are going to abuse that situation all day. Now it's just pure desperation as Fnatic have to take huge risks to get back into the round.
Down goes Flusher, leaving Crims alone. Now it's about damage. Let's not forget, Flusher started this round with 16k. It's not about how many Fnatic players go down, it's about how many Liquid players go down. Liquid took a gamble, they put 4 on the B bomb side. They knew there wasn't much action towards A. It's paid off so far. We've got Hiko holding an angle here. Crims dropping down, looking the wrong way, but again, Hiko only 9 HP, is going to get taken down. And now there are more problems. Simple's peeking, not getting the shot, and Crims is going to be very dangerous. You have to be super nervous if you are Liquid now. It's not about the bomb, and Liquid will soon realize with Nitro's push that they've got control of the bomb. So at least they know there's no plant. They don't have to defend the sites anymore. They just need to avoid being taken down by Crims. They literally cannot afford to lose any more weapons here.
This is almost one of those situations where you don't even want to face Crims, even at like a range that's very favorable for the AWP. You just cannot risk losing a weapon, as you said. They have no bank at all. Liquid are already going to struggle to rebuy the weapons that have been lost, and Crims picks up another kill, and that might be an unrecoverable AWP that now has been dropped. Crims is just hunting them. The apex predator on the cobblestone right now is Crims as he moves forward, but finally he will be discovered going for the bomb. That was a scary run though, 2 extra frags that perhaps he shouldn't have been able to make, but he will.
Nice, Nitro manages to rescue the AWP, very important stuff. But look at the money on Liquid, it's about 3,500. They are gonna have a terrible buy, and we mentioned money on Fnatic. They're coming in with max buy, big guns. Big guns indeed. Olofmeister on the AWP, and that's what we talked about. They can throw the AWP wherever they like on Fnatic, whenever they feel like. Liquid can't really do the same other than put a second AWP on Simple, which continues here in this round. Again, they took a risk. They put Simple alone over towards the A side. Do Fnatic realize this? They've got Flusher, Olofmeister, and then it's headed towards A at the moment, and again, Simple's there on his own. And Dennis, in the previous round, walked into mid-area and poked his head up towards A and got picked off, but Simple at the time was looking towards A long and the mid-area. He's having to look at 2 places at the same time, which is a problem for the CTs. That's a good start, though.
Yeah, JW is trying to harass, get himself in that drop zone, and a lot of the play really was hinged on that, because JW's lack of presence now, because he's dead, that means that there's so much time for Liquid to work out that it's not going to be a B play. And you can see the slow approach from Fnatic here, so that fast frag from Hiko may have created a situation now where Liquid are like, okay, we can rotate people back to A, and that's exactly what they're doing, because there's no pressure on drop anymore. And so Fnatic, they may run into a very good defense. They're going to have to get it done on just hitting those shots, really being very, very coordinated on the way that they push in with the grenades and the entry frags as well. Simple's in a prime position though.
On the site, he needs Hiko to come in through those choke points. The other teammates are really far away from the CTs. We need to see frags here. Simple starts things off. Hiko gets taken down. Nitro goes in an unknown position. 2-man spray down coming in. It's not going to work out though. Crims gets the frag onto Nitro and he can plant the bomb now. But there's a man disadvantage to make that 2. He's going to fall. Flusher alone, not going to do it either. Simple holds pistol. AWP, 2 AWP survive here. The score is tied up. The money is starting to go down for Fnatic, but the pressure will continue.
That is it, the godlike Simple AWPing. That is what you want to see. That's what is going to bring Liquid back into this one now, as Fnatic have to reach deep into that reserve that they've built up on all those rounds that they accrued in just previous to this. And that's going to be a real big confidence booster as well. And if Simple can continue that form, there might be a lot of problems here for Fnatic. I'm really excited to see how this goes. And Fnatic might actually just go for a very fast round right now, switch up the pace entirely as they start to barrel in towards that plateau area. But again, those counter grenades from Liquid should slow things down a little bit.
Speaking of problems, if Liquid lose this round, they are in a lot of trouble. Fnatic have one more buy in them with one of the players on around 7k. But it's going to be tough decisions for both teams, regardless of who wins or loses. Nitro with a smoke kill there, that's a great start. Elise in a sneaky position, and now JDM is delivering. He needs to find one more. One might be enough. If Elise can get 2 frags here, he can. A 2-man spread out, make that 3. Elise the top man on the B side for Liquid.
Are they actually making this happen right now? Liquid getting closer and closer to breaking the economy of Fnatic, but Fnatic just have buys and buys and more buys, and Liquid are finding a way right now. The orbs are coming out in these very early stages to make the difference, but that was a beautiful hold from Elige there. If you can just keep up that composure there towards the broken wall. I mean, Fnatic right now, seeing Simple early in the round towards A, they don't have a very simple option. I mean, previously we would see them trying to take over a drop zone, and that was a very effective play. That might be something that they have to go back towards, going for a more map control oriented approach off of a default, as opposed to just going for these straight up rushes or just relying on one player to get himself in that lurk position, as we saw failed with JW previously. So Liquid, they're stepping up here. I thought they were starting to fall flat in this first map, but they found something.
But Fnatic are hot on their heels. This is really difficult. Even these rounds Liquid are winning are really difficult. You saw one round where Liquid put 4 people on the B bomb site. They had Simple hold 2 places on A by himself. He managed to look at the right place, the right time to take down Dennis. But the very next round, Fnatic know exactly what they were up to. They put 4 players over towards the A site to try and counter what the CTs were up to. So Liquid have to keep being unpredictable here and get the frags. Otherwise, Fnatic can still take this.
You can never count them out, can you? You should absolutely never, ever, ever count out Fnatic. So, I mean, here it is. We have that timeout starting to run down, and Fnatic, they're able to make a lot of decisions here, and they are very important against what Liquid are bringing to the table.
Look at that crowd.
It is glorious, James.
14,000 people in a sold-out arena here in Cologne, Germany, to see Fnatic go up against Liquid. Who's going to make it to the final? This is only map number 1, and it will continue in 12 seconds. 5 AKs here for the Fnatic side. They've got a reasonable amount of grenades as well, and now Liquid's buys are starting to improve. They're starting to build themselves a bit of a buffer here. We have a few players with 3 to 4 to 5k for Liquid, so if they lose this round, then there's still opportunity for them to mount a reasonable defense. They have a lead, a very thin 1-round lead at the moment versus Fnatic.
So we're starting to get back into this one now, as the freeze time is about to be completely diminished, and things once again will resume, and there will be no more pauses here until we have a winner on Cobblestone. Liquid with the double orb, Simple reaching in and pulling out something that Liquid may not have realized was even there to bring them back in this one, and Fnatic trying a new approach after that timeout. But what have they come up with? We do have the bomb moving towards A long, as we have more of a presence map control based play towards B.
Now we have a difference in the setup from Liquid. Nitro's been boosted on the top of the wall towards the hill over towards A. Problem is, he's got 3 Ts coming his way, and they are walking the entire way. Nitro's going to have no idea. Simple coming around towards the door area though. Around the side, he's going to spot loads of players. That's going to raise Elon to Nitro, but what can he do here? Still holding the high ground. Sees the player on the side. 2-man spread out for Nitro. No! Simple's going to steal the kill, but all the frags going away with Liquid here. Solid hold. They don't lose a single player there.
It's happening right now. Fnatic's economy completely crushed. They're able to scrap together an AWP, a Tech 9 armor, some grenades, but it is desperation here, as Fnatic don't have enough to really post a proper buy against Liquid, and Liquid are just storming through these attacks at the moment. Simple has been key in some of these, but Elige and Nitro, the men that have been quieter in months previous, now once again showing why people believe them to be such upcoming star-level players. And we have Olofmeister. It's in his hands right now, looking for the entry, but he's going to get naded to pieces, down to 24 health. And once again, they're going to test Simple. Oh, what is that flick from Simple? That is fantastic. And all of a sudden, Liquid know exactly what's going on as they start to go for the rotation. Simple still alive on 5 HP. What else can he do?
The CTs need to get through these choke points. Speaking of which, JW is trying to get sneaky here. That nade could cause problems. Flush is going to lose 1 HP from that. This is Bedlam. Everybody's on the A site now, apart from JDM looking for the flank here. Look at JW's position. Is this going to pay off for the team? Elige and Nitro around the site at the moment. JW looking for the flankers. Fnatic trying to figure out where these CTs are before they commit. There's still a minute on the clock here. They don't need to plant the bomb just yet. Everybody waiting now. JW still jockeying for position. Flusher, Olofmeister, Crims, all heavily tagged, as is Cbble with the big green gun. Olofmeister looking behind him, making sure there's no CTs coming in for the flank, and Cbble still causing problems. He's going to win an important duel, but he's heavily tagged as well. Everyone's tagged for the T's now. Can they get the bomb down? There's a player on site in Nitro. He's putting in work. Flusher and Olofmeister remaining. Down goes JDM. Everyone's tagged. It's just Olofmeister left versus 2. He's got to plant the bomb, but he's got 30 seconds to do it. 2 AWPs and 1 AK. He's not going to see the angle here. Nitro's going to take it for Liquid. 16 to 13. Is this happening, Dan? Is Hiko going to the final?
This is just so unbelievable right now. I didn't know that Liquid could do all of this. Taking it to Fnatic, showing that there is definitely a reason to respect Liquid going forwards, but there is still much more work to be done here by Liquid as they're about to approach one of the best maps for Fnatic Cash, and that's been one of their most dominant maps of late throughout the entire tournament. It's something that Fnatic can truly rely on and find confidence in. But it is time to go to the desk to get the thoughts of the analysts after that amazing first map on Cobblestone.
It really wasn't simple for Fnatic. Simple, of course, delivering as well. Top of the scoreboard for the North American side. And one of the things we said on the desk right to start things off was that Liquid had to win this to stay competitive. It was their pick, and they have managed to secure the victory. The North Americans take the lead in the series. Duncan, we didn't quite see this coming on the desk. We were leaning towards Fnatic, albeit...
I definitely did.
There's definitely a Liquid shirt genuinely on this desk. We'll start with the 2 people that believed in Fnatic.
Okay, calling us out, of course. I mean, Fnatic certainly brought it to them still. Yeah. It was a really tough test for the guys from Liquid. And one of the reasons why I thought Liquid wouldn't win this map is because I thought that was an anomaly what happened against Na'Vi, because not only was Liquid very, very good, but then Simple just went out of the stratosphere and could not be touched at all. Now, he did in this game, but towards the end, okay? He wasn't as crazy throughout the game. That's why Fnatic was in it. And obviously, Fnatic had some great pistol round play, so they had many more rounds to kind of buoy themselves up. But at the end, yeah, I mean, this boy's unbelievable. Like, some of those shots at the end, once he gets into that sort of a zone, he's certainly one of the hardest players in the world to play against, I think.
We need to also understand that you've got a roster that hasn't been around that long. This is the point you guys were making, right? They've just been JDM thrust into this roster, genuinely just having to think on their feet, and then you have Fnatic that, understandably, they had the disaster with Olofmeister and his injury, but as a roster, they've been established much longer, Yanko, than that of Liquid. To take a map, surely there's a lot of commendation to be given to the North Americans.
True, but it's also pretty obvious that the Liquid players right now mesh really well, and we were talking throughout the tournament about their roles, how refined they are, and how everyone's pretty much comfortable in doing what they need for the team. I'm really impressed how, despite losing both pistol rounds, they still managed to, especially in the first half, take that big of a lead.
It's happened again. I mean, we're seeing teams stay competitive, Jason, while losing pistol rounds.
I mean, the big thing was for Liquid in the first half is the early kills that they were getting in these rounds. They were so good to start rounds out. I thought JDM had a huge impact getting some picks. Nitro and Elige, that duo entry fragging was really effective, and you could see when they switched over to the CT side, when they started losing these rounds, these gun rounds that they weren't winning, a lot of it came down to the fact that JDM was missing some of those first shots. A lot of it was coming down to Nitro or Elige dying first, not getting that opening kill, not helping them have that early impact, which is what Liquid thrives on. That pause was actually really timely. Incredible they made that comeback, by the way, because that pause came out and they were down like 3 rounds, and I think every single round from there on, Fnatic had built up so much money. Those were all gun rounds. It's not like they broke the economy and had an easy round to get up. That's an incredible way to sustain the end of a match. Very different from the Liquid that we've seen throw away massive leads.
Quite the contrast, and so young in their lifespan. I mean, this is a new team.
Let's hope so. I certainly hope so, Machine.
As a team. As a team.
That
was not a threat. Okay. What I want to ask
you, better watch out, eh?
I was trying to seg you into asking you,
I don't
Yanko.
think predictions are that important, Alex. Nothing's going to happen.
How long do you think he'll live?
What I was trying to say was that do we believe in the term not beginner's luck, but this kind of...
The honeymoon period.
The honeymoon period. That's what we've coined in the past for teams. Is this what Liquid are riding right now? Are you seeing evidence of that? Or can we start really having faith in a top North American team?
I mean, there always has to be an asterisk to it, right? Because Simple is only a stand-in, presumably so, for this tournament, right? After this tournament, Pimp steps into his place. I think that there's definitely the fact that, you know, they're playing with not a lot of pressure. They're feeling super confident. So yes, to an extent, it is the honeymoon period, but I just feel that they are super comfortable and they just have trust in each other.
They've also kept things so simple. I mean, not to make that pun, but they've kept things like it's not tactical what they're doing. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're not trying to do anything super complex. They're being very basic in all the different things that they're doing as a team, and it's based off trades. It's based off those entry kills. It's based off the strengths of the players. They're not trying to put them out of their zone and say we all need to know these 5 complex smokes and the timing of how we hit.
Is that a criticism towards Peacemaker, if you say?
No, it's not a criticism at all. And perhaps that's when it goes back to your question of how are they doing this so early into this team's lifespan. It's because, you know, you don't have time to put all these complex new things. They're not trying to do too much too early. They're starting with the foundation, and it's working very well, obviously.
I also think when I think of other teams I've seen Simple play and other teams I've seen some of these other guys, JDM playing, for example, nothing at the moment is forced for Team Liquid. Like, it's not like they have to put JDM in one spot, so you've got to get 3 kills here, otherwise we'll lose this side. Simple doesn't just take an AWP, run down the middle, try and do 3 or 4 crazy shots. He's much more reserved now. Like, he still does the crazy shooting, because that's his style, but he's never forcing the issue when he doesn't have it going himself, and as a result, they're never having that big upswing when it happens, but then the big downswing. Basically, they're just only getting the benefit of it when it's there, and when it isn't, you rely upon the team.
So we'll have a quick look at those stats while they are on screen. You can see that they're actually staying incredibly level, the boys from Liquid.
This actually, I mean, this will be off the scoreboard, but Elige as a player had some absolutely incredible impact in this game. That 1-on-2 clutch he wins. I believe that was in the first, no, it was in the second half, I think. 1-on-2 clutch he wins. Late on, he had that 3 Famas kill when they came B. He doesn't have any lights out like on the score. It's not like he's piled up the frags, but the ones he did get were crucial.
Where I saw that Liquid is definitely gonna make this competitive at least is what was in the beginning of the first half when Hiko and Elige were winning. I think it was a 2v3 or a 2v4. Those are rounds that Fnatic usually wins, you know, to get themselves back into the game. And when I saw that Liquid is able to win rounds like that, I knew that, you know, they will get over that first obstacle, right? Making Fnatic take a step back, basically.
Go ahead.
I actually think one of the things that makes them unique as well is even when I think of some of the really good North American teams of old, so I think of Cloud9 last year, it was very well designed, it was very well sort of set up which player had to succeed in what area. You had to have Skadoodle with lockdown AWP on certain spots, Shroud had to come with big frags, Freakazoid has to be the entry guy. This team, in some sense, because of how much talent they've got in this very loose style, they're almost kind of like a North American Fnatic. Like, you actually can, what gives all of them confidence is knowing that almost every player in the team, in his own way, can carry the game, can have a big round here. Like, almost none of them put into clutch situations, actually, are a definite fail. Like, I remember seeing the Astralis versus Dignitas game. Every time I saw Tensky in a 1v2, I was like, this round's over, okay. Unfortunately, he doesn't win those rounds. They don't have that, and as a result, everyone feels really confident, because you never have to have that horrible feeling like, if I die in this 2v3, it's over. This guy can't win it, you know. That's not there. So as a result, everyone can make plays, and it's working.
There's definitely a trend. I mean, Simple has that feeling with when he's playing with worse players. JDM had that with CLG now. As you've made a great point there, the Liquid are living that dream and are definitely riding that honeymoon period. If we'll see if they can hold on in this best of 3. Next
and
map,
live long lives.
And live long lives, because I'm really need to think about my phrasing. Our next map is Cash. It's Fnatic's best, and it's going to be one of the biggest tests for Liquid and on this grand stage, no less. If you want to get updates on how this game is going, if you're going to have to go out, grab some milk and some wine gums from the shop. That's what I would be doing at this point in time.
Interesting combination.
Yeah, you know, milk and wine gums. It's really delicious. Anyway, you go ahead and use the app. It's called the Score Esports app. It enables you to go ahead and stay up to date with esports while you are on the go. You've got your stats. You can see just how well Nitro and Elige are performing as we head into Cash after the break. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be talking about our second map of our second semi-final in just a moment.